Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Wednesday, November 12th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and Perlo in the house, ready to break down the Wednesday card. 4 games on tap in the NHL and another TNT doubleheader tonight after they had one last night as well, which is great to see. Rangers, Lightning, Devils, Blackhawks, your TNT games tonight. We'll break those down in just a bit. Last night, of course, another busy night of NHL action. It was a up and down night from a betting standpoint, some good, some bad. Very entertaining hockey, though. There's no denying that whatsoever. The Dallas Stars, 3-2, they beat Ottawa in overtime. We cash a draw, both Alex and I, with the Stars sends draw plus 340 in that game. First period over, which I made sure I stressed on the show. I liked a lot more than the full game over. And sure enough, the full game ended up staying under. But 3-2 Dallas, nice comeback after being down 2-0 in that game. Crazy overtime winner there, too, where they had felt like they had 4, 5, 6 chances to put the puck in before finally Roope Hintz was able to beat Linus Ullmark for the overtime winner last night. So nice comeback win for Dallas, 3-2 there. Also had a small Dallas bet, so very happy there with that. Washington gets it done. 4-1 in Carolina. A lot of people were concerned, I guess, that taking a shot with the Capitals, and I get it. Carolina's good. Carolina's at home. They played great hockey. I was just concerned that they've had a lot of games with this short-handed blue line, and it would maybe eventually catch up to them last night. And Washington with 3 days rest, stewing off back-to-back losses. And I just figured, the last time we saw Washington with significant rest coming off a loss was that game against St. Louis at home last week, and it was one of their better performances, and it was great to see Washington step up, after that couple of losses. Jacob Chikrin with his 100th NHL goal last night, so congratulations to him, getting that milestone, and a nice 4-1 win there for the Washington Capitals against the Carolina Hurricanes. The LA Kings, you got to give them credit where credit's due. 5-1, they beat the Montreal Canadiens last night. They give up the first goal and then 5 unanswered from that point on. The game does go over, which I was happy about. So the streak does continue for Montreal as far as overs. That's now 8 straight for Montreal that have gone over the total, but the Kings get the job done there, 5-1. The Toronto Maple Leafs, more issues, more trouble. I actually think I like the way they played in the second and the third period. The problem was it took until getting down 4-1 for the Leafs to start playing well in that game, and you can't do that. You got to be ready from the hop, especially when you've lost back-to-back at home and not played well defensively, and you just buried yourself a deficit and a hole that you couldn't get out of. I actually liked most of their second and third period of that game. But not only losing the game and another loss and more defensive issues and, a terrible goal that Anthony Stolarz gave up, although apparently an injury might have played a role in that because he left the game due to an upper body injury, not to mention Austin Matthews leaving the game due to a lower body injury on a very dubious hit by Zadorov near the boards area on Matthews, and he left the game after that. I give Max Domi all the credit in the world for trying to fight Zadorov, even though he's given up such a huge size disadvantage there in that situation. But sticking up for your captain always gives you a thumbs up from me, and it was good to see that. But the Toronto Maple Leafs, woes continue. They lose 5-3 there to the Boston Bruins. What also continues is the Leaf over streak. 12 in a row now for the Leafs over the total after that 5-3 game last night against the Boston Bruins. So, again, the talk was, better defensive play, but, again, not able to practice what they preach. But the over streak that just won't end right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs with 12 in a row that have gone over the total for them. And then in the latter games last night, how about those San Jose Sharks? They only scored 2 goals, so we didn't hit the team total over on the Sharks, but we did cash that big money line that we took on the San Jose Sharks in that game against Minnesota. But the 2 goals they did score were some of the most beautiful passing plays you'll see. The 3-way passing play on the tying goal was just absolutely spectacular stuff. You talk about a high level of hockey sense and awareness and skill and vision and playmaking. You saw it on the Will Smith power play goal with Toffoli and Celebrini, who had 2 more points last night, 2 assists. with just tremendous setup there for Will Smith. And then another outstanding on the tape pass, Celebrini springing Colin Graff for the overtime winner, and the San Jose Sharks with a 2-1 win there over the Minnesota Wild as the Sharks win streak continues. Another one of these young up-and-coming teams showing you a lot. St. Louis 3-2 against Calgary. The first period over, Reed was very strong here. We figured both teams would want to, come out of the gate early, especially Calgary with their goal-scoring issues. And we did cash the first period over there. St. Louis getting the 3-2 win. Look, Anaheim was going to lose eventually, and last night it happened. 4-1 against Colorado. It was kind of a the only thing we hit was the first period over. We'll take that, but nothing else did. But I will say this: Anaheim, I thought, valiant in defeat. It's not like they played a terrible game. That game was 2-1 actually, starting or 2-1. Sorry, starting the third period. They're right there, still a chance to win, but fatigue really, I think, set in a little bit. Like there was a delay of game penalty from one of the young defensemen there for Anaheim, and it's just one of the plays you don't want to make when you're down a goal in the third period on the road, and Colorado made them pay for it with a power play goal, and it kind of got the sense that that was really what turned the game for good in Colorado's favor. But even in defeat, I thought it was a solid effort. Dostal gave them a chance. Scott Wedgwood was very strong as well. Let's give him a lot of credit. I was so happy to see him get a post-game interview on TNT last night during that after that win, because he's worked real hard, and he's been bounced around from so many teams in the NHL over the years, starting with New Jersey, and he's been with a handful of teams since, and now here in Colorado, and he has worked to get everything that's come to him, and now the opportunity to be 1A 1B type platoon here with Colorado with Mackenzie Blackwood. And I open the door, if I'm Jared Bednar right now, to the potential of Scott Wedgwood being a playoff starter for me.
Yep.
For the hockey team. Blackwood, you can't count on him. He's always hurt. I know he had a good year last year, but with Scott Wedgwood playing like he has for you, why wouldn't you give him a serious consideration, to be the guy that you roll with in between the pipes come Stanley Cup playoff time if you're the Colorado Avalanche. And then the other games, Winnipeg, we cashed a ticket with them. So did Alex. Jets win 5-3 over the Canucks. It was just a great spot and great price to back them after an 0-3 start to the road trip. Canucks team that's very beatable, and a Canucks team that you feel sick for Vancouver. And I didn't mention this in the Carolina game too. Two guys that just can't stay healthy, goaltenders. Demko again goes down to injury. He's out 2 to 3 weeks now after leaving the game due to another injury last night. You feel sick for him that he just keeps on getting hurt. Thatcher Demko. And then Freddie Anderson. What else is new there? He left the Carolina game due to injury against Washington as well. So again, just more misfortune for two guys that just can't stay out of the infirmary right now for their respective teams. So Demko and Anderson both leaving due to injury last night. And like I said, it's really, really unfortunate for Demko because he just comes back and now all of a sudden here he is getting hurt again. And then Columbus with a 2-1 win in a shootout rather against Seattle. Give Columbus credit. Gutsy win. And a real bad loss for Seattle because the schedule was in their favor. Everything was set up nicely for them in that. They even got a really good performance out of Matt Murray in net last night for the Kraken and still weren't able to get the win there. Very disappointing loss for Seattle, but a nice gutsy win on the road to wrap up what had been a disappointing road trip, at least wrap it up here for the Columbus Blue Jackets, especially after losing the way they did in Edmonton the previous night. Alex, your thoughts on what we saw on Tuesday?
Yeah, just a lot of it. Like I said, still entertaining hockey. The betting results were up and down, and I didn't mind it because last night was a night and a card with a lot of plays where we were just rolling on price. Like I said, taking shots with a team like San Jose because Minnesota just didn't deserve to be that high of a favorite. And sure enough, the Sharks hung around in that game, got a nice gritty win. Like you said, the plays in which they scored. That's what's so impressive about this team and how they've been growing. We've been talking about Chicago, Anaheim, and San Jose, right? Kind of all in a trio of young teams that are finally starting to progress after, in the midst of their rebuilds. But what's big about San Jose compared to those other two is their puck handling offensively, and you could say it's about Anaheim as well because they have great offensive talent, as does Chicago. But with San Jose, I'm impressed at how well they are, like I said, passing the puck, moving the puck along. Their puck awareness for how young these guys are is so good already. And that's something that's going to develop and get better over time. The fact that they're already at this level with Celebrini, like I said, that overtime pass, Celebrini, the vision that he has, Will Smith, all these guys, they have such great puck vision already. And the sharper that gets, the more dangerous that team's going to be. You can, like I said, you can say the same thing with Anaheim. You can eventually say the same thing with Chicago. I think Chicago's they're a veteran piece away in that top six to having somebody that's just really lockstep in there. And once they have that piece, once we have a healthy Nazar too, you'll be seeing the same kind of a clean puck movement. That's the big impression that's been the takeaway with these three teams, how their offense has progressed. We talked about the defense. And of course, they've had solid. You mentioned it too in the chat about San Jose, how in the last 4 wins, holding a team to a goal or fewer. That's massive for a team that we've talked about their goaltending issues for years, their defensive issues for years throughout the rebuild. And now they seem to be pulling those parts together. So, like I said, it's just been fun to watch these teams finally grow and progress after so many years of bad hockey. And for those who are just starting to watch hockey in the last 2 or 3 years, if you've been following these teams, you get to kind of learn the game by seeing teams get better. You know what bad defense looked like if you watch the Hawks in the last 2 years, but now you're getting to see what good defense and what changes are being made. And I think it's a learning tool when watching teams grow and progress. Even as a fan and as a bettor, you get to see where teams are improving, where teams were improving, and maybe take a step back on a given night. So those are the things I think take away. And I talk to people about this too, about what to look for when watching a game. Someone who's not familiar with watching hockey on a regular basis, to look for those little intangibles. We talk about active sticks when teams are on defense, talking about how teams are passing the puck well, how they enter the zone, clean entry, those things. And we're seeing that progress with these younger teams. That's a lot of fun.
No doubt. Absolutely. And I think that everyone's talking about Celebrini and this obviously his offensive talent and the skill and the playmaking and the points he's putting up, Will Smith, Eklund. Nobody has mentioned the fact that now San Jose during this 4-game win streak has allowed just 1 goal in each of those wins. And that should be spotlighted too and highlighted, how they are improving defensively. They're starting to buy in to how you win, and you got to play away from the puck as well. And don't look now, that's 4 straight starts for Yaroslav Askarov of 2 goals allowed or fewer. And he was in net for 3 of those 4 games that San Jose allowed just 1 goal, including last night.
And wasn't supposed to start yesterday either.
No, he wasn't.
That's also refreshing to see too when you have a guy who, okay, he's got to jump in and start, and that can happen with a goaltender at any point, and come in and still deliver another quality start and a victory. That's big.
Yeah, no doubt. Very impressed by the Sharks, no doubt. Perlo, how your thoughts on last night?
So much. There was a lot. I mentioned in the chat as soon as you said that Berube was pounding down defense for Toronto, I went and read the article. And he said, this is what he basically said. He said, we got to get back to our identity of playing on the defensive side of the game or defensive side of the puck and not being aggressive offensively. When was that your identity again? The only time I know that was your identity is when you had Mitch Marner in your lineup, and he was the only one that freaking did it. The guy used him like crazy against elite competition last year and nobody else. Why? Because he didn't trust any of these guys. That was a trying to say something without actually saying something. You got to start being that, maybe. Okay. So I thought that's a very confusing message to these guys because these guys don't even know what the hell you're talking about. So I took the Bruins first period right away because I thought Toronto's going to come in and like Tavares is going to do it. Maybe Matthews can do it. He's doing it like crazy right now. And unfortunately, nobody else in his line is. It certainly isn't going to be Nylander, that's for sure. So I took Bruins first period, and I took the over. That was one of my favorite bets on that game. The Kings, I said in the beginning of the year that I think the Montreal Canadiens are going to struggle against good teams later on as things go on here. So I stuck with my words, and I took the Kings yesterday, and it worked out for me.
Tony Marinaro had a good thing that he does a podcast regarding the Habs in both en français, French, and English. And he's a very well-known media personality in Montreal, Tony Marinaro. And he said something that's about that game while it was going on that made a lot of sense. The Habs can and will struggle sometimes against heavy physical teams. And I think we saw some signs of that last night. It was a good observation.
I just think teams are going to be ready for the Canadiens this year. they're not going to be putting their backups in, and they're going to have a book on them too. So this is going to be a challenge in the second half. I'm not saying that the Canadiens are a bad team. I can't say that. Look at their lineup. It's fantastic. But this is a learning year, and we'll see how fast they learn. They got a great coach there. They could show, once they show that they can start beating these teams that know they're coming, I'll be all over the Canadiens again. But last night, I faded it. I also didn't really like the spot. The Senators game, first period, puck line, 3 games in a row for the Senators. They come out hard, and they don't have the defense to hold it, it seems. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Brady Tkachuk's not in the lineup. Last year, he was amazing two-way. Very best of his career, I believe, the best season of his career. And him not being there hurts. Having guys like that out of the lineup as forwards hurts as much as almost as much as like Carolina with Slavin or something like that, especially when you're not full of guys like that. So it's hurting the Senators. I was tempted to take the Stars live, but I didn't do it. But I did like the Senators puck line first period, and I got that. You guys got me on the Capitals. This is the last time I do this. Okay, I'm telling you, I am not going to take the Hurricanes in bad spots. I'm not going to take the Hurricanes in bad spots. Nothing has burnt me more than that, and I got burnt on it last night. The Blues versus the Flames, like I said, the last time I was on, the Flames sucked, and that's all. Sharks, I had the Sharks. I had the Sharks as well with you guys for all the reasons. I listened to your rant yesterday, and I totally agreed with you. How the hell do you not take the Sharks in that spot? It was ridiculous. If I lose, I lose. I don't care. I'm not going to be – I'd rather lose on the Sharks at plus 185, which I got it in, than win on the Wild at minus 250.
And sweat your butt off the whole time. Yeah, exactly.
That nonsense.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get it because they switched goaltenders, but you mentioned it. Take Askarov over saves from now on until otherwise spoken. This kid is unbelievable. I think right now I'll let Alex speak about it because I get a little bit crazy about goaltenders. Something like the Melka. Sometimes maybe I'm overdoing it.
We're aware.
He's good. He's good though. So Askarov right now is playing to the level that we had been hearing about in the hype, and what I'd seen from him.
First round, 11th overall, right?
Yeah.
When he was drafted.
He looks like a guy who's poised, and like I said, there's still a lot of growth left. But from what we've seen so far, and even where he came from, just the first few games. Remember how last year started? He went through the injury after the trade. I think he was injured when he got traded, and then he played a couple games, got hurt down in the AHL. So that's the one kind of knock is that can he stay healthy? He's had a couple of injuries and a couple of dings and bumps, but when healthy, he looks to be as good as advertised.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was saying that maybe this kid needed to go down. So it shows you what I know, but that kid is looking fantastic. Let's put it that way. The Ducks and the Avs, same thing as I'd rather lose with the Ducks in that spot. And I did. I lost with the Ducks in that spot, and that's okay. They look great considering the spot that they were in, 5 games in 7 nights, and you held this Avalanche team that's really a wagon right now. Good. I'm glad I took them to win the cup. Like right now, it's kind of my favorite team right now. I mean, that team has got everything. Landeskog's looking like he's looking better now. He's a great defensive player. They got all the good.
Yeah, his first NHL regular season goal in 3 years last night, Gabe Landeskog. Yep.
Yeah, that was beautiful, wasn't it?
That's great.
A lot of great full sheet players on there, like Lehkonen and Landeskog and Nichushkin, and you got mixed in with some great offense. I was saying about Marty Nietzsche, watch out for this guy. He's so freaking inconsistent. Here he is on the top line. He's doing a little bit, but if you watch him, he's flaky. So I'd be staying off of him for point props and stuff like that, even if he is on the top line. Jets, it was just a jet spot. Simple as that. One thing I will say about this game that I had, and my night last night was good, and a lot of it, again, was shot props. Kane over shots, just keep on hitting it. This guy, that's all he knows how to do. Coach Foote, I've been speaking highly of him. And I really think the Canucks actually played a really good game in that spot last night. They gave it a good effort. There's not because of coaching and effort that the Canucks are going to miss the playoffs this year. And Kane and Foote knows that he's not the smartest knife in the drawer, man, on the ice. I don't know what he is off the ice, but he's not. He does one thing. He gets in spots and shoots, and he's gotten them doing it. So take him over shots every game until you see otherwise. I had the Jets. I had a puck line in the first period. That was a weird way to get it. And I also had him on the money line there. And the Blue Jackets, I agree. That was kind of a disappointing spot for Kraken to not come through. And worse than that, to get outshot in that spot. That was a bad spot for the Jackets. Good thing, another one you got to be hitting all the time. Eberle over shots. I had 3 units on that, made my night, and had a green night because of it.
One quick thing, too, before I know we got to go on, and one thing, but in reference to the Anaheim Colorado game, like I said, we all like Anaheim in that spot. I don't mind Anaheim losing that game from a price perspective, because you're going to have the squares look at that and say, well, Anaheim had this great run, but then they played a great team like Colorado, and now they make them think they look like they're fraudulent. And now we may not.
Yeah, forgetting they beat Vegas and Dallas too.
We're going to get a better price on Anaheim the next game. I love it.
Not even that. Not even just the next game. We won't see the proper price adjustment for a couple of games potentially as a result of a loss like that. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, their stock won't go through the roof. We won't be starting to see Anaheim priced like a juggernaut or an elite. Not yet.
So you don't mind that. You don't mind that when you're looking at a team the way we have Anaheim, especially how we have it from a future standpoint. That's not a bad loss at all.
Yeah. They're going to retain some sort of value moving forward, because of a loss like last night. There's definitely some truth to that. All right, let's get into Wednesday night. We will begin with the first of the 2 games on the twin bill on TNT tonight, Rangers and Lightning. Tampa Bay minus 145, home favorites, 5.5 the total. The first thing I want to say before I get into this game, the TNT presentation again last night was just phenomenal. Like, the studio stuff is just outstanding. Liam McHugh is he has become the perfect host of that. He's a combination of keeping everything in order and throwing in a little humor, a little bit of jabbing to his, his line mates, if you will, Biz and Gretzky and Hank and Anson Carter. And they brought in Craig Fitzpatrick, the blind veteran from the Air Force, who is, teaching kids how to play hockey despite losing his vision. That was such a heartwarming move, to include him in their Veterans Day, presentation last night in the studio. And all I will say about this too is with how great everything about it is, their broadcast of the game, the studio is just second to none. The NHL rights, believe it or not, are only a couple years away from being due for renewal in the United States and a new TV contract. And yes, is there some truth to the fact that on TNT, there's a little bit of a ratings hit in the States compared to when the games are on ESPN or ABC? Yes, there is some truth to that. It's not as people don't always get to TNT as readily or easily on cable or wherever, on whatever provider they have in the States as ESPN or ABC. But if you're Gary Bettman or whoever's commissioner at the time, when you're going to renew this contract, TV deal in the United States, you must keep Turner as part of the package. You must keep it on TNT, at least have them have one piece of the pie still moving forward, because they are giving you, your league, this sport, the respect it deserves, the coverage it deserves. They give you a 30-minute, 40-minute post game after every broadcast too, not to mention a 30 to 60-minute on some occasions pregame show. They have great interviews with the players during games, great features during every broadcast. They are covering this league like they give a shit about it. And I can't say the same about the 4-letter network. So if you're the NHL, you must. This is a non-negotiable for me if I'm the commissioner and I'm negotiating this deal. Non-negotiable that I have TNT still part of the NHL national rights in the next deal. Has to happen. Has to.
I agree, and I'd even take it a step further. Restructure the deal. If you still have these same 2 networks, make Turner and TNT your flagship. Utilize all the networks. Utilize True TV and TBS, and really lean in, especially with all these issues that are going on with YouTube TV and ESPN, the Disney networks, and all the different things that the issues that they're having. Lean into this. Lean into cable, as people are getting back to the cord because all of this streaming shit has fallen apart. and take advantage of that airtime. I think it's a fantastic, like I said, it's been a fantastic production, much better production than ESPN, and to have that more of an open landscape, especially when you're talking about being part of HBO Max and other things, you're still connected to streaming. It's a better network choice in my opinion.
No doubt. They've done a great job. They've done an absolutely sensational job. And you're right, the flagship, I would explore it. I would see if I could make that potential. There's no doubt. And like I said, are you concerned? Because, the NHL does somehow, some way get more people watching the games on the ESPN and the ABC than they do TNT.
Because they're everywhere.
By virtue of everywhere, yeah.
Right.
It's a go-to for everybody that watches sports. But the people that care about this sport are the ones you should care about the most. If you're the NHL, and TNT has shown they care about the sport. They want it to do well. They want to put on the best coverage of this sport, of this league for you. You've got to stick with them in the next television deal, no doubt. Speaking of sticking with things, I'm sticking with the New York Rangers tonight. Give me the New York Rangers here, plus 125, 7-1-1 on the road. It was Nashville. I get it. But it was a home win. They see the red light go on many times, 6 goals, finally an offensive eruption on home ice for the New York Rangers against Nashville. And I think that's legit momentum, positivity, and a pep in their step as they go back on the road here tonight for the New York Rangers against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I don't like this spot for Tampa, and here's why. They've been winning, and they had a nice win against Washington, had to grind it out coming back home off a road trip to beat the Caps on Saturday, 3-2. And now you've been sitting there since Wednesday, feeling all good about yourself, for several days. And the last time they were on extended rest, Tampa, they shit the bed and they lost, I think, 4-1 to somebody. The only other time they've had like 2-3 days off in between games. So I think you could get a little bit of a stale, flat, kind of feeling our oats, if you will, effort tonight from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Whereas I think the New York Rangers come in here, and like I said, they've been great on the road, 7-1-1. In 9 road games this year. I like the price you're getting here with the Rangers as well. So I'm going to take them here, plus 125. I think they're very much live to potentially win this game. Alex, what do you think here, Rangers Lightning?
Yeah, it's been Madison Square Garden that had been kind of the house of horrors for the Rangers, but on the road, things are looking fine. They look like a decent hockey team. So I'm going dog and draw here. Grab draw at plus 320. Did grab a little piece of JT Miller to get the game winning overtime at 65-1. But like I said, this is a Rangers team where on the road you can trust them to score and play well. Like I said, Tampa, as well as they've been playing, having those days off, maybe there's a little bit of rust. Rangers could hop all over them early and maybe put this one away. So, like I said, little piece of draw, a little piece of Miller to win, but I like the Rangers here.
Not to mention all the injuries for Tampa. Anthony Cirelli, he's day-to-day. He's not a sure thing to suit up. There's a bunch of game-time decisions here tonight. Cirelli, day-to-day, upper body. Victor Hedman's going to be game-time decision, still questionable for him. McDonough's out on the blue line still, and obviously they've had Nick Paul missing, most of the season. So they are missing quite a bit on that blue line entering this game tonight. A couple of forwards banged up too, and Dominic James and Pontus Holmberg as well. So the injury bug has hit Tampa Bay a little bit. As well. So not the greatest of spots. You've been sitting on a bunch of wins for a few days. You probably had a little fun away from the ice the last couple of days as well. So like I said, I think this is a nice spot here for the New York Rangers tonight. And I like the price too, getting them at this plus 125 for a team that's been road warriors so far this year. What do you think here, Perlo? Rangers Lightning.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on the Rangers. A few other things to add to the reasons why I like the Rangers here. Florida Panthers next for the Tampa Bay Lightning too. So you got a bit of a look ahead spot. They don't need this one as much against the Rangers. I'm on the draw as well. And anybody out there, if you don't know me, I'm a high volume bettor. So like if you hear me do these picks, don't be spanking these picks. Like if you go look at my Twitter at Perlo's NHL POW, you'll see a lot of picks, and they're very small. I keep them small because I like to.
Yeah, that's what it has to do with me. I'm a high volume bettor. You can't be 10 units every bet. No,
exactly.
You got to be, so half a unit, quarter unit. Yeah,
exactly. I get some people on my Twitter saying, "No, I hit that. You said you really like that," and I'm like, "Well, how many units did you put it on, dude? Like, look at how many units I'm putting on these things. Like, keep it down." But I'm going to take the Rangers money line first period. I'm going to go reverse puck line first period for all the reasons you said. Tampa Bay is a good first period team, which kind of has me a little bit concerned, but I could see them being flat here. And I could see the Rangers being really having a bit of a feel good from that, Nashville game. Now, with that being said, sometimes you would think, okay, they're feeling good. Maybe they come in a little bit too high here, but I don't think so. They've been a good road team. I think they're going to come in. It's nice for them to get that feel good at home. It's a good bonding experience for them. I like them in the first period, and the price is really good at like plus 270 or something like that. So reverse puck line, the Rangers first period. Rangers money line. I'm going to take Rangers over first to 5 shots at plus 100. I think they're just going to come. Their Tampa could be, like you said, a little bit flat. I was looking at the team total over for the Rangers, but you got Vasilevsky and all that kind of stuff like that. I think I'm just going to leave it, and I think I'll stick with the Rangers. As far as props here, check this out. If we like the Rangers, the adjustment we don't have an adjustment here. I think there are a lot of people are poo-pooing, of course, the Rangers because their lack of scoring at home. But Trocheck back in the lineup is plus 340 to score a goal. Lafreniere is plus 360 and Cooley's plus 400. Put a little bit on those three. One of those three are probably going to score today, and you're up plus money again. So I really like that. On the other side, Hagel's been scoring a lot. He's the one guy for Tampa Bay that's doing it at plus 200. So I got a little bit on him too.
No doubt. Good stuff. Yeah, the draw, I lean draw, but there's other, I do have 2 draws on the card tonight. This isn't one of them, but I do have 2 in the 2 of the 3 other games. But
this ain't a bad short card to have a draw on all 4 or 5 games.
That's true.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree with Goose with that.
There's some nights where you think about it and you're like, oh, no, that's not. This is a night where, you can make a case for all these games go.
Yeah, no question. And Vincent Trocheck, look, we all knew they missed him. But boy, oh boy, you talk about, wow, it really became pronounced how much they missed him with his return the other night against Nashville. 2 points in his return, and they erupt for 6 goals all of a sudden, and Vincent Trocheck's return to the lineup. So, yes, clearly he bolsters this New York Rangers team. And for a team that's really struggled to find options offensively to be able to get, a guy like Vincent Trocheck back, a key top 2 center for this hockey team, that's important. And like I said,
I forgot to mention power play point for Trocheck is plus 450 and assist is plus 175. Just smack that stuff.
Yeah, both of his points were assists too against Nashville, so that definitely might be worth a look, no doubt. All right, Edmonton and Philadelphia. We've got Edmonton minus 135, road favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. The Oilers, they definitely stole one and pulled one out of the fire, if you will, against Columbus, because they look like the woes were going to continue. Here's another disappointing loss, down 3-1 and 4-2 to the Columbus Blue Jackets the other night. But Connor McDavid went postal in the third period. He went off. He had 2 tremendous goals to keep them afloat. They end up tying it 4-4 with about a minute to go, and then of course the game winner from Roslovic. But don't be fooled for a second thinking everything's great again with the Edmonton Oilers, because that was, for 2 periods, that was trouble brewing and maybe another loss. And then Connor McDavid just decided, I'm going to go Superman and go put on my cape and just will this team to victory, and that's essentially what he did in the third period of that game. By the way, we don't have confirmation for Tampa who's in net of the first game we talked about. Vasilevsky's projected, expected. Igor Shesterkin, though, is confirmed for the Rangers. For this game, it's Skinner. That's why we've got the Skinner shirt on today. Skinner in net for the Oilers, and Dan Vladar for the Philadelphia Flyers. Philadelphia Philadelphia started out the season really strong on home ice. They've kind of cooled off at home of late, and I know they'll be looking to bounce back. They lost 3-2 in overtime on Saturday against the Ottawa Senators. They've very well rested. 3 days off for this Philadelphia Flyers team coming into this game. So this is another spot I think it sets up nicely. Now, Tampa with the extended rest, I don't like the spot because they're feeling good. They're winning all these games. Philly, it's different. No travel. They're off a frustrating loss to Ottawa where they did not start the game well. Yeah, it's completely different. And if you go and look at the series history, this has been a little bit of a nightmarish place to play for the Edmonton Oilers over the years. They have not had a lot of success. So I like the Flyers here, plus 115. I think they're live as a small home underdog. And this is definitely a draw I like. You look at this Philadelphia team, they have been playing lots of overtime and shootouts. 4 of the last 8 have gone past regulation. Of course, the home game against Ottawa went past regulation. Edmonton, same thing. 5 of their last 8 games have gone past regulation, entering this one. And by the way, we saw one of the 2 meetings last year as well go to overtime between these 2 teams. So Flyers and draw for me. Alex, what do you think here? Edmonton, Philly.
Yeah, small piece of Flyers, much larger piece here on the draw. And, it's funny, Terry Ray Vegas mentioned in the chat about the knowing the both teams to score in the first period has been hot with these teams. I would maybe look at goals to maybe start coming in the second period. Take a shot with both teams to score in the second period, plus 132. You can get that pregame over at FanDuel. So I'm going to add that along with Flyers and the draw.
All right, good stuff indeed. And just a couple words about props for this game here. In my opinion, this is a guy that Rick Tocchet said he didn't come into training camp in the greatest of shape. It took him a while to kind of get things pumped up a little bit, kind of get his game going, because keep in mind, remember the levels he was playing at last year for Philadelphia. And this year he kind of started out slow, but showing signs of heating up. He's found the back of the net in back-to-back games, and that's Matvei Mishkov here for the Philadelphia Flyers. So you can get him, and the some places have him below plus 300, some have others, but still very good price on him here to maybe find the back of the net tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers in this game. I think that might be worth a look on their side. And, of course, we know Zegras has been certainly much better here in Philly. He looks comfortable. Yeah, Jonathan, that's a good point. I think I'll do the same with the team total, split it, money line and team total, because you're right. It's been Edmonton like clockwork, giving up 3 goals or more to their opponent in recent games. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Rather than just bet Philly plus 115, we'll add some team total over at a nice 2.5 as well, with that Flyers team total over 2.5 minus 134 right now at Pinnacle. Pretty good price there with that. What do you think here, Perlo? Oilers, Flyers.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, Alex, about the second period. I'm going to add that both teams to score, but I'm just going to take the over too. That was my best bet last time with Edmonton. Anaheim pushed. Okay, it doesn't matter. Both of these teams fly over the total on second period. So over 2 is plus 105. I'm going to add that both teams to score. I like that a lot. Yeah, good point with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, well, I call it coming in fat. They've been very successful, probably taking a nice little break with their family. They were on a road trip. Flyers are not. This is a team, and not only that, I haven't seen really many down spots with the Flyers. They might have lost, but it's not that they didn't try hard. And Edmonton has a history of playing down in these spots come first game of a road trip coming out to the East. I've seen them blow it against Columbus when Columbus wasn't very good. I've seen them blow it against this actual Philadelphia Flyers team several times. This, to me, and another thing you mentioned that I really liked was, I like to take teams when they make comebacks like Edmonton did, but you said something very important there. It was all McDavid. It wasn't the rest of the team. McDavid put him on their back and did it. Now he's got to come back here. I like Philadelphia here, money line. I'm going to take Philadelphia money line. I'm going to take him in the first period. Like I said, that over 2. And I have one prop here for later that I like as well.
Good stuff there. And don't forget who's coaching Philadelphia. Rick Tocchet, who's been in Vancouver the last couple of years, has seen a hell of a lot of Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers, including a playoff series against them a couple of years ago.
That's a good point, too. Yeah. And you don't think these young Philadelphia players, like some of them, like Zegras has played him before, but these young Michkov, like you mentioned, I'm going to put that on there, too. Yeah. This is McDavid. They get to show up against what's supposed to be the greatest player in the world. Yeah. So I like it. I like Philadelphia here for sure.
Yeah, it's more so I like the price. I don't like the price Edmonton is in this matchup.
Oh, over 5.5. I still can't see this doesn't go over 2. I like the over 2.
Yeah, I'm torn on the total. I don't have a strong opinion on the total. I wouldn't be shocked either way, over or under. So I'm totally off this total. I think second period over though, if you believe in that. Yeah, Oilers over 1.5 goals second period.
I got a feeling this could be low and slow first period. Yeah. Both teams score in the second. Both teams get goals in the third, and then it's overtime heading 2-2. I got that.
3-3 exact score. Give me it. Yeah. Let's do it. I'll throw that in.
No doubt. Yeah, so good stuff there as far as that game. All right, on we go to the next game on the slate here. We've got Buffalo and Utah. Utah minus 200 home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. Utah's probably going to be happy to be back home. That was not a great road trip from them. Very disappointing. This was a team that was playing well, and all of a sudden they've hit a little bit of a slump here, 1-5 for Utah in their last 6 games, and the only victory was in overtime against a Buffalo team that's not only banged up, but not playing great. At the moment. So, yeah, very disheartening road trip for the Utah Mammoth. But they are back home where they do have a 4-1 home record this season going into this game. So, like I said, we'll see if they can use home ice to bounce back following that 4-game road trip. They have had a couple days, too, of off since the finale of that trip against Ottawa. So that's some good news here for Utah. Buffalo hasn't played since Saturday. When they lost 6-3 to the Carolina Hurricanes, their 3rd straight loss, 1-6 now in their last 7 games. We'll see if they can bounce back, but they have been swept by Utah since Utah moved from Arizona. 3-0 for Utah last year and this year combined. Of course, they got the 2-1 overtime win in Buffalo just recently. So, yeah, it's revenge for Buffalo, but boy, Utah coming home off a disappointing road trip. I wouldn't want to fade them. I don't want to take minus 200 either. The only bet I like is the first period over here. I think you can get on that or get behind that for a couple of reasons. You've got Utah frustrated about the road trip. I would be surprised if they don't come out, storming here in the opening period, swarm this Buffalo team and force them to defend early in the game. That definitely wouldn't surprise me one bit. Meanwhile, you look at Buffalo. And after the shutout loss to St. Louis, we saw that first period over, kind of have some good pace to it against Carolina. And I think the urgency for Lindy Ruff's team is going to be there to try to get out to a lead, which they have not had for a very long time. So I think both teams want to get this first goal, and that's going to lead to certainly a more of an uptick in pace, in my opinion, in this opening period. So I don't love the full game 6.5 over in this game, but I definitely I lean the full game over. But what I truly like more so is that first period over here, 1.5 with the Sabres and the Mammoth. Alex, what do you think here? Buffalo, Utah.
Yeah, let's go wait a few minutes to try to get a better price. I'm not laying 150 or 160, but I'm right there with you on that first period over, and may also grab live both teams to score. You can get 40, 150 right now. Wait and try and get a 2-1 price. With that. So liking first period overs as well, looking for goals early.
All right, Perlo, what do you think here? Buffalo, Utah.
Before I do, I want to mention that I do have the over 1.5 second period. I don't mind playing juice in good spots like that and the 2. So just to cover my bets. Cover the bets. I love Utah here. I'm sorry. Who does Buffalo have in the lineup? Oslin?
Benson, Dahlin, Danforth, Kulik, Norris, and Zucker are all still out.
Are you kidding me? Utah coming off of a bad road trip, have a couple days off. I know, okay, it's a revenge spot for Buffalo. I don't think there's any revenge in this team's. Like, they have actually, got some chances. They have got some chances. They just don't have players that can put the chances.
I like Ryan McLeod. He's not a top-line center. And he has to play top-line center out of necessity because Kulik and Norris are out. And Noah Oslin, he's going to be a good little player down the road. Second-line center.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't want to crap on these young guys, but, I mean, they're not in a spot right now to say that they're NHL players totally yet. And Utah's in a smash spot here. Like, this is get back. I just love Utah here. I got it at a much better price than minus 200, though. It opened up a little better than this. I got it at minus 130 for in regulation. I got a minus 1.5. I got Utah team total over. The only thing that is kind of worrying me is they put that Ellis kid into it. I think that, and that I'm not really fond of taking teams when they're playing against goaltenders they've never played before.
Yeah, it is Colton Ellis. That's a good point. Colton Ellis is going to start, and he played well when the last time we saw him.
Yeah, and he showed pretty well. So, but I can't do anything but Utah here. I'll take team total over. I'll take that over first period. I'll take Utah to score 2 goals in the first period. Prove me wrong. Hey, Buffalo guy, I know I see a lot of people on Buffalo in the chat. I understand the reasons why that would be the case. I just don't think they have the tools to do it here. If they prove me wrong, big ups to you, man. big ups to you. With this lineup, if you're able to do something against Utah, great. But I just don't see it at all.
Yeah.
So I got everything. I got everything Utah here. I'm not taking the over at 6.5. I agree with Alex. I think Buffalo could pot a couple. If you think Buffalo is going to do anything, take Tage Thompson, because he's about the only guy that's going to do anything in that lineup. So, and of course, Paterka. We didn't mention that. You're going to mention that. And you got to
Paterka, yeah, against Buffalo. Yeah.
I got him over shots. He had 3 when he was in Buffalo. He hasn't been shooting the moon, but it's a place where I'm sure he wants to show up against his old team. So I took him over shots as well. Another little one here that I've been liking, that little Yamamoto kid's been coming around. You got him at plus 600. And if I'm right and Utah does get up early, I think they're going to be getting a lot of these guys a shot in the third. So I'm going to take him at plus 600. That's it. Oh, a little bit on the second period over here too. 2 second period over teams, plus 100.
There we go. Mr. Second Period Over is what we're going to start calling Perlo with the
this
year's period overlooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Alex is having he'll come back in a few moments, but Jonathan, if you played every game this season to go to overtime, you would be up a minimum 26 units, 22 in November. Yeah, I mean this feels like a night all 4 games could go to the draw. I don't love this draw, and I don't love the Ranger draw as much, but I like the Edmonton Philly draw, and I do like the draw in the game we're about to talk about coming up, New Jersey and Chicago. But I think all 4 games have reasonable potential of getting to overtime for sure. And Ellis was good against Detroit, won his only start, and played well against the Red Wings a few weeks ago. But still, you just have the 1-game sample size. For a journeyman goaltender, it's been around the block. You don't want to just make conclusions about, you're going to be great in the NHL level off 1 start. You can't do that. You got to see
over
more.
Saves or something might be all right. You're going to get a lot of shots to do.
Yeah, you got to see more, no doubt. All right, New Jersey, Chicago, final game of this Wednesday slate. This is, of course, the last game on the docket here for this Wednesday night slate. This is the second game on the TNT doubleheader. We've got the Devils minus 150 road favorites, 6 the total here in this game. This is an interesting one to really dissect. I know I won't be fading Chicago. However, this is not the optimal Chicago Blackhawks spot. It was a very great end to that road trip for them. Give them credit for it. And they did a lot of travel, a lot of air miles on that trip. It started out poorly. They rallied the troops in the middle of that trip after the losses to Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Seattle. And they beat Vancouver 5-2. That was that splendid performance from Spencer Knight. And then it was followed up with actually another great performance from Spencer Knight, shutting out Calgary 4-0. But no, they definitely played a lot better in those 2 games. And then against Detroit, 5-1. I know they got outshot. The run of play was definitely tilted toward the Red Wings, 46-20. And then Arvid Soderblom goes in that game and plays phenomenal. One of the best games, bar none, that I have seen Arvid Soderblom play in between the pipes for the Chicago Blackhawks. So great end of that road trip. Kind of feel like, it's not always easy to maintain the energy level. A road trip that strong, a road trip that ended that great for them, winning 3 in a row at the end of it. I think when you look at this matchup, that does concern me, and you're playing a very good New Jersey Devils team. A Devils team off a loss, by the way, for the first time at home this season. The Devils were defeated by the New York Islanders 3-2 in overtime in their last game. So we do have a bit of a bounce-back spot for Jersey here in this game, albeit only a 500 road team this year, the New Jersey Devils at 4-4. This is one where I'm going to just buy into a little series history and bet over 6. And this is kind of surprising because, I love Spencer Knight, and we're probably going to see him in net. But, you have to remember, this has been a heavy workload, a lot of rubber he's faced in recent games, and New Jersey's got some firepower. So holding up against it one more time, that'll be fascinating to see if they can do that. And this Blackhawks team can continue to trend upward at the defensive end. Because keep in mind, there's an element of, Chicago defensively in those latter games of that trip, 2 goals allowed to Vancouver, shutting out Calgary, 1 goal allowed to Detroit. But the but to that is 45 shots, 33 shots, 46 shots against. And chances are, if you're going to subject Spencer Knight to that amount of rubber, that volume of rubber again tonight against a New Jersey team that's got some finish to them, it could be a little bit tougher for the Chicago Blackhawks to keep the puck out of the net. So I like over 6, and I'm buying into series history. The games in the Windy City in particular between the Devils and Blackhawks in recent years, 5-3, 4-2, 6-3, 8-5, 7-1. We've just had one, shootout after another, and with a loss being for New Jersey, their last game against the Islanders, obviously you're going to want to get out on the front foot, and that means looking for that first goal. And if they get the first goal, that opens up the game. And Chicago's got to chase, and that'll open it up a little bit more. And not to mention, Chicago's holding their own at the offensive end right now, even with Frank Nazar sidelined once again for this game. Connor Bedard playing great. And unfortunately, Andre Burakovsky's a game-time decision, too. His name's popped up on the injury report. So we'll see if he's able to go. And he's definitely had a nice little run of it for the Blackhawks during this road trip. Last 7 games, he's had 4 multi-point games, 5 goals and 5 assists, 10 points in the last 7 games for Andre Burakovsky. So certainly they would miss him if he doesn't play tonight. But for me, I'm on over 6, and this is one where I don't like the Devils at -150. I lean Chicago, but I don't love the spot for them, home off a successful end of that road trip. But I do love this draw. I do think we have draw potential here with the Devils and the Blackhawks tonight. You look at this New Jersey team. They've been a draw magnet. 3 straight Devil games have gone past regulation entering tonight. So they've become a little bit of a draw machine lately, New Jersey, and I think that's got the chance to continue here tonight. Alex, you cut out, and before you did, I know you wanted to say something, too, about the previous game there as well. I think one more thing about Buffalo, Utah. What was that?
Oh, I just wanted to say, Buffalo is certainly not a +170 dog in the same vein like we saw yesterday with San Jose or Anaheim. There's a reason that they're a big dog price, and I get why some people want to take the Sabres here. That was just kind of the point that I wanted to make, that there's a reason for that dog price.
Yeah. All right, Alex, take it away. Devils, Blackhawks.
Yeah, now this is an interesting spot. I do like the over at 6. I grabbed a small piece of that where it's still 6, laying $1.20, but I'm going to try and get a little bit more. Hopefully that'll kind of adjust in game off of the 6.5s at some spots. I like the draw. I grabbed that +340, but I grabbed a little piece of the Hawks here +130. This is another dog and draw spot for me, and it's based on this. Yes, coming home off of a road trip, we've seen the Hawks be dicey at times. But I think what's interesting about this is we're talking about the late start because of this being the second of a TNT doubleheader. Projected start time being around 8:52 p.m. local time.
9. Let's get it accurate. And by the way, they start these damn TNT doubleheader games, the second game, right on the minute. I've seen it. 52. Yeah. If it's a 7 o'clock game and it's supposed to be 9:30, it's actually 9:52 Eastern time. You write it down. You watch your clock when they drop that puck for the opening. It'll be 9:52 right on the button.
Exactly. And so in saying that, you were talking about the same kind of schedule that the Hawks had been on when playing against Calgary and playing against Vancouver and on the West Coast road trip. The only difference was the day game in Detroit. So there may be a little bit less of an internal body clock shift for them, even though they've been home the last couple of days with that later start as opposed to New Jersey coming from the East a time zone over. I think that, along with just the form of how the Hawks have been playing, the form of the Devils, like you said, everything's been tight. Everything's been going past regulation. This just sets up to where it's a good spot to grab a little piece of the Hawks. But I do like the draw. I do like the over. I will have 2 bargain bins, one from each team in this game as well.
Oh, my goodness. I was just about to say, I'm sure it'll be Burke and Panger doing this game. No, Burke and Pang, I'm just seeing it now. Burke and Panger are doing the Rangers and Lightning game. You know why that is? I think because Kenny's going to Madrid, Spain. I'm sure he's going to have fun with that. Kenny Albert. I'm sure he's tickled pink, over the moon. He's got to go to Madrid, Spain, and call that dopey game with Washington and Miami in the NFL. Nobody. Yeah. Oh my God, poor Kenny Albert. Give some prayers to Kenny Albert that he survives Madrid, Spain, and that god awful, freaking terrible NFL football game coming up on Sunday with Washington and Miami. He's got to call that shit for Fox, NFL Net. I actually think it's NFL Network, and they're
at least Spain's a cool place from what I've heard. That makes
it's a nice place. He'll enjoy the scenery and the ability to sightsee around Madrid,
Great
Spain,
food.
and watching that football game and calling that football game. That's for sure. Poor Kenny Albert though, getting saddled with that Washington Miami game on Sunday. So yeah, it's actually Burke and Panger are doing the Rangers Lightning. It's actually Alex Faust and Hockey Hall of Famer Jen Botterill working the New Jersey and Chicago game tonight. She was one of the inductees in the class this year. Good stuff. As far as props for me, again, we're going to have to wait to see what this Chicago lineup looks like when it's all said and done, because, there's questions about whether Burakovsky's going to suit up. We'll have to wait and see. I definitely want Tyler Bertuzzi, because Tyler Bertuzzi's feeling it right now as far as a goal prop, no question. I'm interested for sure with Tyler Bertuzzi for the Chicago Blackhawks. Certainly Burakovsky if he plays, but again, we'll have to wait and see on that. For me, it looks like they're moving the Russian up with Hughes and Mercer's on the top line. A little shakeup by Sheldon Keefe. Mercer with Jack Hughes. Mercer on the right side, and guess who's on the left side? Arseny Gritsyuk for the New Jersey Devils. So I think both of those guys, Gritsyuk and Mercer, flanking Jack Hughes, are good value looks tonight for the New Jersey Devils. What do you think here, Perlo? Devils, Blackhawks?
I think it's about time the Devils did something like that. They've been relying way too much on that top line. And if you're going to beat Chicago today, which I think they will, you're going to need depth. You're going to want to beat them with depth. Chicago's been doing excellent, but they've been having very high shooting percentages. And I just got to go with the spot. It's just coming off of a successful road trip like that. It's successful because they won the last 3. And they're coming back here against a New Jersey team off a loss. It's just a spot play for me. But bigger than that is I lost out on it because they put Soderblom in last game, but I should have known they would because they wanted him for this game. First of all, they're at home. They want Spencer Knight at home. It's always good that way. But also, I think Blashill knows this is a game where they're going to get peppered pretty darn good. So give me Spencer Knight over saves, 25.5. But I think he's going to get tons of rubber today. And I think he's going to stop.
And the over saves props for Chicago goalies have certainly been cashing and working lately.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. So give me over saves. It's a spot. If Chicago beats them in that spot, really this is a great win for Chicago if they win. And I'm even more iffy about it because Alex and the Chicago Hawks is usually not wrong. So I was just praying he'd be on New Jersey here, but no, he's not. And that sucks. But I am taking New Jersey in regulation. I'm not going to go the team total over because you never know with Spencer Knight. And I'm going to take the draw as well. It's weird to take the favorite in the draw, but you just can't. Spencer Knight's a guy that can just force you into a draw. He can stop as many pucks as he can to do it. But
yeah, you can't gain a margin because you can't get the puck past him. Yeah,
right.
When he's on his game like he's been lately, no doubt.
Mercer over points is -110. Maybe that should be your biggest bet today because the odds of him not getting a point. Hughes over shots is insta. He had 11 shots, I think, in his last game. And you can get it over 3.5 at like -125. Just nail that. And Meyer's been shooting a lot. He's got a -115. You can get him over 3.5. As far as Chicago is concerned, I've been really light on it, but you got to go with Bertuzzi. Just got it. Yeah. Guys just feeling it like that.
A lot of chatter too from people in our chat, and I agree with it. This defenseman, Artem Levshinov, I mean, this guy's really been chipping in the point. I think 6 of the last 7 games with at least a point. Most of them assists for him. So keep an eye on that. All assists actually.
I like a couple of the defensemen to jump in for the Hawks and the Russian. That's been part of their success, having those guys from the point move. Once again, we talked about at the beginning of the show, puck movement. They've been moving the puck very well. Lashunov and Sam Renzel, both young guys on the point. See them getting power play time as well. They're great puck movers, and they're facilitating that action for those top 6 guys. So that's something that's crucial.
Yeah.
Well, if you do like Chicago, the way they're feeling it right now, I would take them first period for sure. That would be the way they're feeling it right now. I think, like you said, they've had a little time to adjust body clock. I don't think it's a body clock issue. I think it's a got to get home, been on the road forever, type type play. That's really what it is. You get home, you got to take care of the kids or whatever. It is a young team, so they
distractions
don't
that come with returning home off the road. Right.
That's pretty much what it is.
Perla, would you suggest maybe taking Devils -1? Because you said you do like Devils to win, and
that's
they
a
win
good
at 60. But you also have a piece of the draw, so you wouldn't want to have regulation.
I would suggest that. Thank you for reminding me that. That's a good play. I should have thought about that. I always forget about that -1 play. That's a good one. Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, I like. It's a good prop game because we do think there could be some goals here, New Jersey and Chicago tonight. So, like I said, that's a good nightcap. That's a good one in the later part of the night here to end the Wednesday night festivities for sure in the NHL. Great stuff. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, and we appreciate you as always joining us here on the Ice Guys Show. Make sure you check out wizardsportspicks.com. Of course, all the great handicappers, great roster of cappers on the site. I'm there, Alex, Matt Robinson, and plenty others. It's been a good run on the website for yours truly with the picks available on the site. Just give you the updated numbers: 58 and 43, all sports. 17 and 10 NHL run, 12 and 8 college basketball start, 32 and 23 NFL and college football streak. So real solid results. Check it out, wizardsportspicks.com, and I will be doing the Wizard Sports Picks Beyond the Lines video series episode for Thursday. That'll be recorded later today. It'll be up on the YouTube channel late tonight for Thursday. So make sure you check that out. I'll be doing it for Thursdays and Sundays with the Beyond the Lines videos for the Wizard Sports Picks YouTube channel. And check out patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. Again, great response from everybody signing up. The signups have been insane since the beginning of the year. Keep it coming. And again, get on board if you haven't gotten on board already. Get on board before the next Patreon exclusive live betcast, which is coming up later in November. Date to be announced. We're going to announce it the day of. Okay, where it's going to be like a surprise. Whoa, it's a betcast tonight, and everyone's going to be happy, and everyone's going to be excited, and we can't wait for that. That'll be later this month. And don't forget, next week we've got our regular free-for-all betcast next Tuesday, November 18th, starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Check out the Patreon page, goalie charts, totals charts, all our bonus content, including, of course, the daily betting card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. And again, your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping us on long term. So check it out, $10 per month. Get on board at patreon.com/iceguys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Had some technical difficulties yesterday, but we will be getting the new items up involving the bargain bin logo on the website. And also, you have 5 days left to save 20% off all orders. Hit the redeem button at the top of the page, add your items to your cart, and then at checkout, 20% will be taken off. That's for the next 5 days. Definitely want to check that out right now. That's at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right, great stuff. Bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsor.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code IceGuys. All right, bargain bin special of the night. I think last night was a rare dry night with the bargain bin special. Doesn't mean we can't hit one today, Thursday, or for this Wednesday. Alex, bargain bin special of the night.
Yeah, let's head over to 1901 West Madison. Got the Hawks returning home, skating with the New Jersey Devils. I like 2 bargain bins from this game, 1 from each team. We'll start with the visitors first, the New Jersey Devils. And he's mentioned he's moving up to the top line. We had him last time. He's had some great chances, but couldn't pot in the last time we had him. Hoping for a better time around this time. Arseny Gritsyuk. Can get him plus 310 over at FanDuel. I got plus 320, so shop around and get the best number there. Going with Grits for New Jersey to get an anytime goal plus 320. And for the Hawks, like I said, I'm expecting a lot of production from the point. I know everybody likes Artem Lashunov, but let's go at Sam Renzel. Get a goal here. You get anytime goal scorer plus 850 with Sam Renzel over at FanDuel. So Grits plus 310, Renzel plus 850. Those are my 2 bargain bin specials tonight.
Grits and rinse. There you go for the Chicago Blackhawks
like
and the New Jersey Devils for Alex with his bargain bin specials, both from the Devils Blackhawks game. Perlo, bargain bin special. And yes, you had one the last time with us, Adam Fantilli. Fantilli, ladies.
Yeah, we had a whole big Fantilli lace thing going on
goals
now.
left and right. Da 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 da.
Yeah. Let's the goal go in. All right. I'm going to go up on the top line for Philadelphia. I love the way he's playing right now. Bobby Brink, you can get him at plus 150, and I'm going to give you 2 as well. I'm going to go with I like I like the way he's playing now that Trocheck's back. I'm going to go with Lafreniere for the New York Rangers at plus 360. I think he's had 2 in the last 3 games. He looks like he was really feeling it now that Trocheck's back, so you can get him at plus 360. I'm going to go with Lafreniere as well.
There we go. As Lafreniere. I always think of that with Rick Jenneret, bless his heart, from back in the day with LaFontaine, with Alexis Lafreniere. All right, there you go. There's Perlo's bargain bin specials for this Wednesday. My bargain bin special of the night, I was hoping Mishkov would get to that plateau because I do like Mishkov, but he's not bargain bin worthy. He's mostly plus 280. I think at plus 290 is as good as it gets with Mishkov, so can't use him. What I will go with, though, is, I do like the Rangers in this game. He's going to be with JT Miller and Zibanejad, it looks like, on the top line. Do we see Mr. Gabe Perreault maybe find the back of the net? I will take a shot with it. Plus 450 with Gabe Perreault for the New York Rangers here tonight. Again, put into the lineup, put on the top line, looking to spark an offense, especially at home that was struggling to score goals for Mike Sullivan's team. I think that price is worth a shot. Gabe Perreault, New York Rangers, plus 450 for my bargain bin special of the night. All right, best bets for this Wednesday. Alex, best bet.
Let's head to the city of brotherly love. You got the Oilers and the Flyers. Like I said, Oilers have struggled in Philly. I think this will be a close game, so let's keep on rolling with draw season. Give me the draw here with Edmonton, Philly, plus 330 is my best bet.
All right, there we go. And remember, Islanders Devils on Monday draw was best bet for Alex, and it cashed. So another draw tonight. Oilers Flyers draw for Alex B. Smith with his best bet. Perlo, best bet.
Before I go, I got to remember Perlo's NHL POW on Twitter. Hit me up there. You can get all my picks. I have a community there that you can be part of as well. I also have a show at 11 o'clock at night called Rico.
Yeah, with his buddy Rico, and Rico's a great guy too. So make sure you check that out if you can.
Rico and Perlo's All-Star NHL picks, All-Stars in there too. He likes to come on all the time. Check me out there at 11 o'clock. And I got 2 for today because I like to take a shot prop and a regular pick. Going back to Bobby Brink, I want him to get a goal. He only needs to get 1 more shot. He's been 3 shots in the past 7, and he's plus 100 for 2 shots tonight. Boom. That's probably one of my biggest shot props of the year. So I'm throwing you a premium. And I'm going to go Utah in regulation. I got it at a better price. I think it's minus 135 now, but I think they spanked that game. So that's my 2 for today.
That's a strong statement from Perlo. One of my top shot on goal props of the year.
Bobby
Brink for the Philadelphia Flyers, over 1.5 shots on goal there at even money. So there we go. Pressure's on now.
What's the last time I said that? It was Pius Suter, and he fucking dropped the ball. But we're getting it today.
I know sometimes that can be the kiss of death, but hey, if you like it, you like it. And there you go. There's Perlo's best bets. My best bet. Let's Let's go to the New York Rangers. I'm feeling the Rangers today, and I know they've been an up and down team, but most of their downs have been on home ice. This is a 7-1-1 road team. I'm not feeling it for the Lightning tonight. They've been playing great. They're 6 or 7-1 in their last 8 games, something close to that. But they're off 2 wins. They won the final game against Vegas on that road trip. Then they came home and they gutted out a close win against Washington, and all the chatter was, wow, we just gutted it out. We didn't have our best, but we gutted it out. And now they could be, like I said, it feels like this could be a spot where we don't get Tampa's A game. And the Rangers are capable of capitalizing with their great road record. So New York Rangers plus 125 for my best bet here for this Wednesday. Shout out to the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex and Perlo, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we're back on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.